Yo, what is up, guys? Del Boy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit the subscribe button, all of that good stuff. Anyway, news today has broke that Tyson Fury has parted ways with his controversial advisor, Daniel Kinihan. Of course, since the announcement that financial terms were agreed for Joshua versus Fury, Daniel Kinihan has been in the news following reports that he was instrumental in the negotiations for the financial terms agreement. And he's been in the news ever since due to his alleged ties to the criminal underworld. Daniel Kinihan was allegedly a large-scale heroin dealer, cocaine dealer, and allegedly also was responsible for the murders of at least 18 people. Again, I don't believe he's ever been charged with anything, but essentially his name is synonymous with the underground in Ireland. Tyson Fury and people in the boxing world in general have been under pressure for having ties with Daniel Kinihan, and obviously now Tyson Fury has decided to part ways with Daniel Kinihan. Whether he has or not, that's another matter. I mean, ultimately, MTK distanced themselves from Daniel Kinihan back in 2017, and only fairly recently it's emerged that Daniel Kinihan is actually still heavily involved in MTK, dealing with elite level fighters, and he's been involved in negotiations for numerous big fights. This is according to Eddie Hearn, Bob Arum, I believe Frank Warren also. All of these guys have confirmed that Daniel Kinihan is an active advisor in boxing and at the highest level as well. We've obviously also seen high-profile fighters also come out and praise Daniel Kinihan, most notably Tyson Fury, but also the likes of Billy Joe Saunders. So it's obvious that this guy has been playing a part in boxing for the last few years, despite MTK saying they had no more dealings with Daniel Kinihan back in 2017. But it turned out obviously that Daniel Kinihan was dealing with numerous MTK fighters. So this announcement by Tyson Fury saying that he's going to distance himself or split ties with Daniel Kinihan, I'm not entirely convinced. I wouldn't be surprised if he kind of kept in the shadows and operated more quietly from now on. But we've heard this all before with MTK when they apparently parted ties with Daniel Kinihan. After this, I fully expect Daniel Kinihan to still be involved in the boxing world. So I think this really is a bit of a non-story. The more interesting point to this story is the ethics and the morals. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter, social media in general, complaining about this, slating any fighter who has ties with Daniel Kinihan, saying it's unethical. How can you be associated with a gangster, a criminal, a drug dealer, and a murderer? And obviously I get that sentiment. But truthfully, I honestly don't feel strongly enough about it to make a big song and dance about it. I really don't. Obviously, it would be better for boxing if everybody involved on the business side were straight shooters and clean cut with no history. That obviously would be better. But at the end of the day, if a good fight is put on, I'm going to watch it no matter who's putting it on. And that's really all it comes down to me. All of these people out there showing fake outrage, because that's what it is. Let's be honest about it. We live in a day and age now where people love to be offended, people love to be outraged. Well, if you're truly outraged, I'll give you an idea, a plan of action if you will. Don't buy any fights in which Daniel Kinihan has been involved with. Obviously now he's going to be taking a lower profile, so it's going to be harder to figure out which fights he is involved with. But we know he helped broker the deal for Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury in regards to the financial terms. So let's say that fight does happen, I'm sure he's still going to get a cut for the part of the negotiations that he played, right? He's not going to get nothing for brokering that deal. He's going to get paid off the back of this fight. So everybody out there making a big song and dance about this, showing your fake outrage, just don't buy this fight. It's that simple. Don't fund a person who you're calling a gangster, a drug lord, a murderer. Don't buy this fight. Don't fund him. That's the choice. But will you actually follow through with that? Absolutely not. Listen, I know that Daniel Kinihan, chances are, is a bad dude, right? But if I were to sit here, make a big song and dance about it, pretend I'm offended and outraged, and then buy this fight, what would that make me? What would that make me? That would make me a massive hypocrite. Listen, is Daniel Kinihan the most reputable person in the world? Absolutely not. But at the end of the day, if a guy puts on a good fight, I will watch it. It's that simple. I'm a boxing fan. It's my MO to watch the best fights. That's what I'm here for. You know, what goes on in the background, I don't really have an interest in, to be honest. I really don't. I don't have an interest in what goes on in the background. You know, I'm the consumer. I want a good product. If a good product is put forth, I shall buy that product. That simple. That simple. You know, it's like these people out there who are complaining about social issues in the world right now, and yet you see them outside walking around in a Nike t-shirt with an Apple iPhone, which chances are were made in a Chinese sweatshop for basically slave labour. But these people care about social issues. Listen, most people don't give a fuck. Reality is, most of these people out here are just, you know, whinging for the sake of whinging and showing fake outrage. Listen, maybe that's just my interpretation of this issue, but I'm a pretty cold, hard-nosed person. If you're going to act like an activist, then that's something that, in my opinion, you can't half play at. You've got to be all in. I don't want to hear you complaining about human rights and then wear products that were made in the sweatshop. Do you know what I mean? But again, most of these people are just ignorant. They read what they see in the news, they parrot it, and it is what it is. But yeah, listen, Daniel Kinihan, if you put on fights that are good, I will watch. If you put on shit fights, I won't watch. It's that simple. End of discussion. But there was one more thing I wanted to quickly touch on before I wrap up this video. I've heard a few people out there ask the question, why does Daniel Kinihan want to get his name out there when he's associated with various criminal activities? And people will point to things like ego and things like that. And obviously that's a possibility, but listen, given the activities that Daniel Kinihan is suspected to be involved in, I would guess that this is Daniel Kinihan having what they call duper's delight. Now, duper's delight is when you commit a crime or you wrong somebody and essentially you get away with it. Most people, if they do something severely wrong to somebody, they will usually feel shame, remorse or guilt. But somebody who has duper's delight would actually be enjoying that moment. He'll be enjoying the fact that he's done a load of wrongdoing and he's getting away with it essentially. It's not just the act of doing wrong in which he's gaining from. He's also enjoying the fact that he's getting away with it. You know, he's feeling some sort of rush because of this. That is essentially what duper's delight is. I may have described it poorly, but you get the essence of what I'm saying. And that sort of trait is common within psychopaths, you know. And if you study sort of mainstream well-known psychopaths, such as serial killers or gangsters, a lot of them will actually have this duper's delight. When you look at it, you'll realise it's a very common theme amongst psychopaths. I think another example of somebody who would sort of have duper's delight would be O.J. Simpson, for example. He's somebody who I would say is a definite psychopath. And by the way, not all psychopaths are murderers or serial killers or gangsters. Most psychopaths don't even commit heinous crimes. Just the more well-known examples are the ones obviously who do, like the serial killers, like the gangsters, etc. But that's my theory on why Daniel Kinihan is so keen to get his name out there, to be in publicity, because he knows that people know he's done wrong, but they can't do anything about it. Essentially, he is duping them and he's enjoying it. That's my theory. Could be completely wrong. Is Daniel Kinihan a psychopath? From what he's alleged to have been involved in, there's a good chance that he is. But at the end of the day, there's really no material to study him and actually come to that conclusion. So, yeah, share your thoughts below. Intrigued to hear your thoughts on this one. Are you somebody who is disgusted by the influence of Daniel Kinihan in boxing? And if so, what is your plan? Because if you are one of these people who are outraged, then surely you would need to actually put your money where your mouth is, or in this case, don't. You know, don't buy these sort of fights. But anyway, share your thoughts below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Again, smash the like, hit the subscribe button if you're new. And yeah, I think that's about it. Peace.